the first thing that we do is have you set up what you're offering, and we have different options for that. We can always create new ones, but the three most popular right now are personal training, private small group classes. So, like either group personal training or classes that, only certain people can attend, and then the public classes.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
The Health in the Real World podcast is sponsored by most exercises and workouts, whether they be running, biking, elliptical, rowing machine, traditional weightlifting, or even CrossFit, do not give you a balanced workout. And when you do workouts that neglect even one area, you're out of balance, resulting in pain and injury as well. Achieve your goals with the fitness program your chiropractor would love. Visit chrisjanke.com/pod to watch the free video. Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke, and we talk about all things health. Today we're talking to Jennifer Strout, who is the CEO and founder of Motivate You. It's kind of an all-in-one fitness management platform, and I'll let Jennifer talk to you guys about it. Jennifer, welcome.
Hi, great to be here.
So talk to us a little bit about Motivate. Well, talk about yourself a little bit first. Let's get who you are and where you're coming from, and then we can get into the business as well.
Okay. So yes, I'm the founder of Motivate You. This is the fourth business that I've started. And this one is probably, I could say definitely the one I was most passionate about because I started it after I had my two children and I was trying to get back into the gym, even as a client. And I was just facing like the difficulties of the commute and the childcare situation with everything. And before I had kids, I was teaching yoga and doing fitness instruction. And so I kind of came back home and was like, well, what am I going to do about this? Like, I can't spend 2.5 hours commuting and stuff for a 40-minute class while the kids are screaming in the car. But I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. My grandfather had like the Taibo videos. I don't know if you remember those.
I remember Billy Blank's Taibo.
Yeah, pop them in the VHS, right? And just watch them, but you get like no feedback. You could be doing horribly and nobody would tell you, right? So it reminds me of like the modern day YouTube videos. So I was seeing like that versus like being in person in the gym, and then this huge gap in the middle.
Right. Yeah, because it's interesting. And that was a good analogy what you said. You said, the mirror is like that hardware that you mount on the wall that just looks big and bulky. And of course, the first thing I thought when I saw that was, where am I going to put that? But your software actually tracks the user, right? And with the motion, we call it motion tracking synchronization software with real-time feedback. So you can use like your phone, right?
Yes. Yeah. So thinking about also like my friends who like travel a lot for business, right? And if you ever go to like a hotel chain and you walk past the gym, it's always empty, right? There's something about like working out alone in an empty gym that's just not very inviting. Right. But if you take this, you put it in your pocket, you open it up in your hotel room, you can actually connect to your trainer at the gym that you usually attend when you're at home. So there's that like flexibility that you can use it anywhere. Or if you get caught up and you're late and you're not going to be able to make it in traffic again, all you need to have is a phone, a tablet, computer, a laptop. We make it convenient. So you don't have to purchase bulky equipment. Some people don't have the room. It's also an additional cost that you have to kind of lay down. Right. But all of those also just go straight to the consumer. They don't connect to trainers that actually have physical gyms. And we want people to be able to connect to whatever trainer they want to, not just, a few handful that we kind of hold over and make them make millions of videos. But it's like the same couple of people, like, because everybody trains differently and everybody needs a different type of trainer. So we want to have that market still be wide open.
Nice. So your customer is the end user, or are you, is your customer the trainer who then has the end user, or is it a little bit of both?
So it's a little bit of both. So our primary customer is the trainers, the fitness centers, the gyms, but wanting to actually, go through the process myself and making sure that I could easily say, like, this is the results that I can get from this as a trainer. This is how long it takes. This is how, how can I make it easier, more intuitive? I went through the process myself. And so there are ways that people could connect to me as a trainer, and some programs that we put in place. And the goal is to just continue to replicate that kind of model that I built with other trainers. But that was always the purpose. I just found that when I was getting it going, as I was starting to answer more and more questions from businesses, I was like, you know what, I should just do this myself, because I can make sure that the answers are that much more clear and it would be easier to move forward.
Right. Because you're not only the user, but you're like, what was that? The men's hair club for men. He said, I'm not only the president, I'm also a client, right? You remember that saying
Yeah.
back in the day? Jennifer, so I'm a trainer, right? I've been a trainer since 2004. Let's say I sign up with Motivate You. And what's the step-by-step? Like, what am I going to create for my clients? Like, I know there's classes, there's all that. Like, what are some of the things that you would recommend, like, I create, and what's the step-by-step?
So the first thing that we do is have you set up what you're offering, and we have different options for that. And we can always create new ones, but the three most popular right now are personal training, private small group classes. So, like either group personal training or classes that, only certain people can attend, and then the public classes. And with that, also some of those being on demand and some of them being live. And then a lot of people like doing the combination packages of them both. If you're doing the live, you could literally get started in a minute. You would just say, I'm offering this, and you can jump on with somebody. You don't have to do anything ahead of time. Wow. For the on-demand classes, there's a couple options. Cool. You can either record a video yourself and then upload it. Mm-hmm. We do the processing, so you just have to upload it and walk away from the computer. Or you can do a live class and record the class while you're doing it, and then save it so people can come back and try to improve over time. Or you can, sell it at a different rate for people who couldn't afford maybe the live class. And then the third option is, say you've already recorded a bunch of videos, like during the pandemic, I know a lot of trainers recorded videos. You can take a video that you already have done previously and put it up. So it doesn't have to be done in any particular way, or it could just be any video that you put on. And then the processing happens on our end. So I try to make it easy for people to get going. Again, like going through the process myself too, made it easy to see like what steps we could do. Like adding, so you could record a live class is something we just actually added this month.
Wow, that's awesome. So, and you can sort of set it up where this is like a free live class, or there's a payment associated, and the whole payment system is set up through your software as well, right?
Yeah, so you can either connect a payment system you already use, or we've partnered with a payment provider too to get lower rates than the standard rates.
Nice. And then that sounds awesome. That sounds like pretty much everything any trainer would need. As far as the next step, I'm looking at custom community, private, public, or combo options. What do you mean by that? Have you created sort of like a social media style environment, or how does that work?
So we have a couple of things, and going back to like some of the other points that I probably should have mentioned, we have our own video conferencing software. We have our own video storage, so you don't have to worry about that too. Awesome. And then the community, we partnered with a company that allows us to have those different community like groups. And we picked them specifically because you could do completely private groups, meaning that, people can't even see those links, but you can also do public ones that are, or I should say, private ones that people have to be a member of, but they can see. And those ones actually help with SEO, meaning that if somebody's doing a Google search, they could find it. And we found that a lot of the other companies that were doing these community groups, there's no way to find the group unless you already know about them. Right. And so this way you could put something out there, and then people could see, like a little bit of information. And then if they want the whole thing, they join through. So there's also some embedded stuff internally. Like we just added a feature that if you wanted to do a short challenge, we were doing like, do a challenge, do like a tree pose for yoga. You can then have your clients record it and then share it directly on Twitter. because when it shares, it actually will send out a referral link. So then it says like, hey, join me on this challenge. And then you could get your clients to give you referrals through some like viral components like that. So just trying to harness community, both like internally within the system and then getting people outside of the system in.
Oh, that's very interesting. I like that referral concept. So you can bring them in with like a free challenge, and if that person ends up signing up, then your client ends up getting that referral bonus or what, however you structure it.
Or you get so for my clients, that's how I do it. But then you as a trainer could also set up your own referral system with your own challenges.
Got
And you
it.
could
Got it.
decide how you want to reward your clients with that.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're really leveraging some of the best components of like an in-person. And like you said, you didn't have the ability to leave your house and spend 2.5 hours, to and from the gym and everything. And it's like there's the feedback, there's the groups, there's the one-on-one. What have we not talked about that's included in this? I just want to make sure we get everything.
So we have a lot of stuff that auto synchronizes to goal tracking. And then it also alerts both the client if they're kind of going backwards in their goals, but it also alerts the trainer. So the trainer knows when to focus on specific clients, whether that's in the class, actually a live class. We use traffic light symbols. So it's green, you're doing really well. Yellow, you're doing okay. That's red, you're not doing well. You might, be doing the form might be so off that the trainer should probably kind of give you some extra guidance.
Right.
And then after the classes, if you're leaving early a lot or you're not finishing them or your scores are going down, both the client can see that, but then the trainer also gets alerted to that. And then we have extra opt-ins for another community factor, which is internally to our platform called leaderboards. But instead of doing the leaderboards based on a hard number, let's say you want to run 5 miles a day and I want to run 4 miles a day. If we were on the same leaderboard, because your goal is higher, I could never technically be above you on the leaderboard, right? Because even if I hit my goal of 4 miles, yours is 5. I'll never get as high on the leaderboard. I'll always be at the bottom. If you think of like hundreds of people, right? So our leaderboard goes by a percentage of your goal. So if you get to 80% or 100% of your goal, that will bring you up so that everybody has a chance, even if they're just starting on their fitness journey. And you could have leaderboards just for your gym. You could have leaderboards for everybody who's on the platform, or you could just specifically connect with friends of yours that you want to share your leaderboard with. So you also have options and you can encourage each other. We have like high fives that you can give people for accomplishing their goals.
That's awesome. So that's something, all the leaderboard and everything, that's sort of something that it's not like, it doesn't take place during the class, right? It's just something that people have access to through like their app on their phone kind of thing.
Yeah, so it gets updated after. So it's all the same platform that you go through. And after your class, if you have a goal based on something related to the class, it would update.
Got it.
And then for the alerts, though, the real-time alerts during the class, you can see them during and after. So the percentage of how you're doing in terms of how well you're synchronized with your trainer shows up both during the class and then after. So a lot of people have a goal for like synchronization, like how well am I doing these movements compared to my trainer?
Got it. Jennifer, can we put on the motion tracking synchronization, that the video that you showed me before? Can we just show like 10 seconds of that? Because I think I do agree with you. Like just watching a YouTube video is one thing, or like the Taibo video, but getting that feedback is definitely another thing. So as far as like how accurately it's matching up with what you want to be doing. Here we go. So you're on the right, correct?
Wearing the sweater, long sleeve sweater.
Yeah, and then your teacher's on the left. So those dots are saying how accurately you're matching up with her poses, right?
Correct.
And so it's taking like snapshots. You can even see it. Like as she drops her hands, your score drops because you're not synced up with her.
Right.
Cool.
And this is a simplified version because this is actually one of the Twitter challenges. So on the platform itself, you actually get a single digit percentage from 0 to 100. We have it smaller because I find personally that it's very distracting. And then having spoken with clients too, they're like, yeah, you don't want to necessarily see the whole thing at the time, but at the end, you actually get all of those dots that you just saw. You can imagine for the whole class, you get that graph, and then you can see like, okay, how was I doing specifically? But during the class itself, you also get a bar that's much easier to see. That's that traffic light color. And for the trainer, that the colors go around the box of each client. So if you have a lot of clients, it would be around instead of the bars, because the bars, then your eye tricks itself. Does the bar go to the top person or the bottom person?
Right. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a really good idea. Oh, wow. This is like color by numbers all over again, like elementary school. But I like that because it's like it does have to be quick, right? You're teaching a class and you can just get instant feedback. And let's say I'm just looking at a grid of like 3x3. There's 9 people in my class, and I can instantly see, oh, this guy's turning red, and then I can look a little closer.
Well, we have a feature, you can make the person who's red pop up, so they're the only person you see.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So what we're going to work out for the next rollout is kind of adjusting, like if people, so we have it, we've made it so you can make your class easier, medium, or hard. So it doesn't, if people are more advanced, it would take longer for it to go green. And then if it's easy, it doesn't go red as often. So the opposite, right? And then the goal, the one thing we want to do for the next rollout is adjust it so that no one person is popping up too often. So if you know, like one person's always redlining, and maybe that class is possibly too hard for them, but we could adjust just their easy, medium, hard, as opposed to the whole class.
Okay.
That way that it's more fair that you're giving feedback to most people. And that's something the trainer has to decide too. At that point, you might say, maybe this person needs to drop down to a different class, or maybe we'll try just adjusting their goal markers. But either way, that would be up to the trainer to make that decision.
Very cool. Very cool.
Everything up to the trainer to make it as personalized as they want to. We don't have like any strict program or protocol. We just say, these are our best practices. This was what's been working for trainers on our platform. But then everybody gets to decide how they want to run their program.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely going to try the trial on your website. How does somebody listening or watching this, how do they get started with the next step?
So I'm happy to do live demos for people, or also obviously share videos like the one you've just seen. But there's a certain like wow factor when you see it live, because one thing that's unique about our software is you can do any movement, and it will be tracked. So there's no restriction in the movements that you could do. So if you're a trainer or a studio or gym, I recommend signing up for a live demo. And if you're a consumer, you can actually go through the platform and sign up. And we do have a free tier, and you could try that out. But also trainers, you can also try out the free tier and see, like, what is it like to be a client or a consumer? What would it look like to me? And on there, we also have some of our trainers offering like short 30-second videos of what they do. So clients can try it out and say like, hey, is this a good trainer for me? Would that be a good fit for me? Nice. So it really gives you like a good, like bird's eye view of what it would be like on the other side.
Nice. That's awesome. So you got the free tier. And then what's like kind of the range as far as, is it a monthly subscription, or what are the range of costs for this?
So most trainers for one-on-ones are doing $50 to $200 an hour for the personalized training. Most people offering packages of classes, like just if it's on demand and they're not interacting with the client at all, are going $20 to $50 a month. So there's obviously everything in between too, because people have combinations of those type of packages. There's live classes, and again, we want people to offer whatever they would normally offer in their gym, because you can have a hybrid class too. So I could be running a class in the gym. As a trainer, I just set up my phone so that it's tracking. Oh, you can't see it. Set up my phone so it's tracking me. It wouldn't obviously be right next to my face. I'm just trying to get it in the screen. Right. And then, I have my class in front of me. And then people at home, though, are also doing the workout. So there's, lots of different possibilities. And that's why if I can get on a call with somebody, I could say, hey, this, based on what you're doing right now, this is the fastest way we can get you up and going. This is what would make the most sense for you. And then you might also want to add X, Y, Z in the future. But I just had a client on Sunday that I did that with, and she had everything completely set up within 30 minutes. And then she added a couple new things on Monday and started expanding some of her offerings, because she was like, oh, this is really easy to get going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And what's the website again?
It's motivateyou.net, but the U is just the letter U.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Jennifer Strout on Health in the Real World. Really appreciate you joining me, and I will check out Motivate You for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jennifer.
For listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.